You know, sometimes your strongest opposition or doubters is going to be the people around you in your everyday life. And I've kind of come to realize that having a strong support system is not a luxury that a lot of people can afford. Like, most of your ability to succeed and achieve your goals and aspirations in life is going to be predicated on your ability to tunnel vision and block out the noise. For example, if you're running a race or in a basketball game or in a boxing match, or whatever it is, whether people on the sidelines are cheering you or booing you should never change your approach. If they're cheering you, that's great, that's positive energy, and be grateful and appreciative for it. But if they're booing you, then that's negative energy and it goes in one ear out the other. The people that tend to lose are the people that let that negativity overwhelm them, and it makes them insecure and they change their approach. And there's also some people that can channel that negativity into fuel and motivation. And an uncomfortable reality in the world that you'll learn when you get older is that very few people actually want to see you succeed. And I mean like genuinely succeed. Like, they might want to see you do okay or maybe even close to them, but they never really want you to do better than them, because that's normally when envy and insecurity creeps its way in. And it's not even necessarily out of spite or malicious intent. It's just if you do better than them, then you reflect a mirror on their inadequacies and the things that they're not doing in life. Like, it's hard to be around someone that's a constant reminder of what you're not doing in your own life. And it really sucks, but misery does love company. And it's a dangerous feeling because it's comforting as well. It's the mentality of, oh, I'm in this hole, but at least there's people here with me. And when you start to see someone try to climb out of that hole, that starts to make them uncomfortable because they themselves don't believe they can make that climb. No one wants to be left behind or alone, and that's why it's understandable. But it's also why that's dangerous. And the unfortunate reality is that this normally could be friends, family, peers, co-workers, etc. You know, just the people that are close to you in your day-to-day life. And if you're young, you gotta recognize this sooner than later. You never want to find yourself one day smoking or drinking on a Tuesday night at 1 a.m. with your friends or the people around you trying to convince you that this is the life. And if there's anything that I'm saying that's uncomfortable, really try to think about why that is. Like, I genuinely want everyone to win, including myself. And normally nothing really gets to me. Like, I don't trust most people in general. And a lot of people say, oh, isn't that pessimistic? Isn't that kind of cynical? And I'm like, I trust God and I trust human nature. So if I know someone or knew of someone that doesn't really have my back or betrayed me in some way, shape, or form, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna lie, what hurt the most, and I'm gonna be painfully honest right now, what hurt the most was when I realized that my girlfriend never subscribed to my channel. Like, friends, family, that's whatever, right? I was never the guy that told my friends or family to watch my videos or anything, or tell people to subscribe. Like, that's not my style. And actually, in the beginning, it was quite the opposite. You know, you're kind of insecure, you don't want people to see or talk about your videos, etc. But when it came to my girlfriend, I was like, damn, not even my own girl wants to see me win. Like, that one hurt right here, I'm not gonna lie. But I never brought it up just because there's nothing to talk about. Like, your actions speak louder than your words. Like, you're subscribed to all these makeup channels, Get Ready With Me, yoga, Pilates, smoothie, wake up at 6 a.m, day in my life, female vloggers. But not your boyfriend? That's tough. But it is what it is, you know? And that's when I realized, like, damn, it really is just you out here sometimes. Actually, there was this girl that I was kind of close to in high school. And we don't talk anymore, but she wrote to me in her senior portrait. And I'll never forget those words. But she said to me, I think you're one of the few people that are underdogs about to do big things in life. And the reason why I remember was because it was the first time someone showed genuine belief in me that wasn't just blind or empty words. You know, just things like, you can do it, from like your middle school teacher. And it's funny because you know they don't mean it. And the reason why I knew her words were genuine was because it was a very specific comment. Like, she called me an underdog, which came from, you know, me just kind of being this nice guy that didn't really have any presence. You know, the guy that just kind of got by, doesn't really have any talents, nothing really outstanding or exemplary about him. The guy that's kind of just there. And that was exactly who I was. Absolutely no talents, just the epitome of mediocrity. But there's something about you, something that I can't put my finger on. Just something about you that's gonna do big things in life. And it was one of the nicest things anyone said about me. I mean, you guys say a lot of nice things, which I appreciate. I wish I could respond to every comment, but I see most of them. But even back then, I definitely didn't believe in myself like that. Like, if you would have asked me what I wanted out of life at that time when I was 17 or 18, I would have just said that I'm just a guy trying to get by. You know, get some 9-to-5 office job, filing papers, making spreadsheets. Try to get married in my early 30s to an average girl, doesn't have to look beautiful, just not, you know, not that bad. Maybe have 1 or 2 kids, ignore all the BS in the world, raise them the best I can until they're off on their own, and then just kind of retire and call it a good life. If you would have asked me back then, that probably would have been the extent to what I wanted in life. But now I'm thinking about things like impact, God, purpose, fulfillment, self-actualization, being the best version of myself, etc. All the corny esoteric stuff. And I'm kind of getting off track, but basically, this is why I've always believed that your self-belief has to supersede everything. So regardless of how many people believe in you or support you, it's not going to change your approach or your mindset. If there are people that genuinely support you, then thank them, be grateful, and appreciate them. Because again, not everyone has the luxury of a good support system. Like sometimes it's just gotta be you, and if no one supports you or believes in you, then that's fine as well. Either way, your mindset is solidified, like that doesn't change your mission. Whether people on the sidelines are booing or cheering you. Because God is always gonna believe in you, so if you believe in yourself on top of that, like genuinely there's nothing that can stop you. Nothing else matters, and that has to be your mindset. And this is why I never get disappointed, because you gotta know if all goes out the window, you can 100% rely on yourself. And that's a strength in being hyper individualistic. You can become a bit of a loner, but at the same time you also master 100% accountability. And that allows you to have both hands on the wheel when it comes to your life. And you also learn to problem solve extremely well because you know it's all on you. And that's a really important skill in life. Actually, when you think about it, life kind of is just problem solving. Like you wake up, you make a list of things that you gotta do. I gotta be at work by 9 and the bus is running late. That means I gotta catch an Uber. Or I got a deadline in 3 days and you think about how I gotta manage my time effectively. I got a final exam on Friday and you gotta think about what I gotta do to study. Or there's a girl in your class that you like, how do I approach her? I got a busy week ahead and I got no time to cook. That means I gotta meal prep on Sunday. Or I'm trying to get a six-pack, right? How do I diet? How much cardio do I do? What's the workout routine? Like everything is just problem solving. You know, I've always been a bit of a loner, and not that I didn't have friends growing up like I did, I'm not gonna paint a false narrative. Actually, some of which are probably watching right now. I just never really fit in with any group, like I was the floater. The one that was cool with different groups, but I never really was that tight with any group in particular. I was close to people individually in different groups, but I would always go off on my own. Just naturally kind of like a lone wolf. Remember, a universal truth in human nature is that misery loves company. Of course there's disadvantages of being a lone wolf and eventually you gotta find a pack. But a certain advantage of being a lone wolf is being able to move in silence, which on the path to success is extremely beneficial, in the sense that you don't really let people know your goals and you kind of just tunnel vision on your goals and aspirations. And what this allows you to do is that people around you can't affect you or take away from your energy. When you move in silence, you're also protecting your energy. If there's negativity and doubt around you, then you don't want to be around this. Like you can't be a lone wolf forever, right? But there are certain periods of your life where, especially on the path to success, where it's beneficial and sometimes necessary. It allows you to tune out all the external noise and you cut out all the BS. It's just you alone on your path, moving in silence and tunnel visioned. And that's probably when you get the most momentum. It's just you gotta be careful not to get lost in that. Like being a lone wolf is useful in certain periods of times, but eventually you're going to have to find a pack. Like you hear the saying all the time, you're the sum of the 5 people closest to you. But sometimes it's hard to find those people that will share your vision and uplift you. Again, a good support system is a luxury. If you have it, definitely value it and appreciate it. If no one believes in you, then that's fine as well. God is always going to believe in you, and if you believe in yourself, then there's genuinely nothing that can stop you. Anyways, hope you got some motivation out of that. I tried my best. And with that said, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And with that said, make sure you stay true, and I'll talk to you real soon. Peace.